Hey guys, in this video, we're going to continue our Pro Tools intro tutorial series. In the last video, we covered how to set up the program and start with audio recording, so check that out if you haven't yet. This time, we'll cover how to record, edit, and draw MIDI, and use the included Expand 2 virtual instrument that's included with Pro Tools intro. If you're looking for additional instruments, we've also done an entire video on free AAX instruments for Pro Tools that you can use to expand your sound library. To start with MIDI in Pro Tools intro, we need to create an instrument track with an instrument loaded on it first. Like last time, make sure you have the center window set to edit mode from the window menu at the top if you're starting with a blank project. Then go to the track menu and select New. We'll create a new stereo instrument track. Then on that track, make sure that we have an instrument loaded on it. We can do this through an insert and load the multi-channel plugin Expand 2 under Instruments. Expand 2 will launch and we'll be able to adjust our sounds. The easiest way to work with MIDI in Pro Tools intro is to use a MIDI controller like a keyboard, drum pad, or electronic drum kit to quickly add MIDI notes, beats, and melodies to our project, and it's a lot more intuitive to do it this way than to add MIDI using a piano roll, but we'll cover how to do both in this video. Basically, all the MIDI controllers that are available now for home recording are USB based, so we just have to plug it into our computer for Pro Tools to recognize the keyboard. Then we can set the instrument track to record arm, that way it responds to our MIDI controller. Then we can press keys on the MIDI controller and hear it back through the Expand 2 instrument. Now we can look at the Expand 2 instrument closer for how we can adjust the sound it's going to create. The Expand 2 instrument has hundreds of sounds to choose from and 4 different synth banks that we can use to even combine these sounds together. They can respond to the same MIDI channel to blend them or to separate MIDI channels. They have the number 1 by default, which will respond to the default MIDI channel 1. They also have a power button to make sure they're active. The A, B, C, and D buttons toggle between which effect is active in the top Smart Knobs panel, and all these different sounds will have different controls. Some of them can adjust things like the attack and release of the notes, as well as more specific controls for effects, modulation, and filters that may be applied. Each of them has a name at the top that we can click to open to the drop-down menu. We can select anything from lead synths, pads, and replicas of different instruments such as guitars, piano, bass, and even some basic drum sounds. Once we're satisfied with the instrument as a starting point, Expand 2 has a few different tools to tweak the sound a little more to how we like it. Every one of the 4 banks has a volume level and pan for basic mixing. We also get effects levels to control the balance of the sound that's being processed down below by the effects that we can see at the bottom. Along the right, we have our transposition tools, key range that the MIDI instrument will respond to, so we can restrict that if we want some instruments to respond to some keys and not others, and polyphonic mode, just telling it to respond to multiple notes at once. The PB range is the number of semitones that the pitch bend controller on a MIDI controller will bend the note by, and in this case, it's 2 semitones. Moving to the right, we can see that we're currently in play mode, and if we switch it to the ARP mode, we get controls for that unit's arpeggiator. We can also turn it on, set it to latch, and change the mode, which sets the direction of the notes and the rate the arpeggiator changes notes at. Last is for the modulation wheel controls. At the bottom of the plugin, we get 2 effects processors that can be added to our sound, and they can be turned on with the power button first. We get tools such as reverb, modulation, and more. Now to get recording with MIDI, we simply have our MIDI controller connected, arm the track for recording, arm the project for recording, and press the play button to start recording, just like we did with an audio track in the last video. When we're done, just click the space key on the keyboard or the stop button to stop recording. From here, we're going to look at some of the manual MIDI controls that are used to write and draw MIDI notes from the piano roll. These tools can be used to write MIDI if you don't have a MIDI controller, or they can be used to edit MIDI notes that were recorded with a MIDI controller. To start from scratch, let's create a MIDI clip. If you're recording with a MIDI controller, this can already be done for you. Right-click on the instrument track and select to bring up MIDI Editor. Technically, you can draw MIDI from the editor window, but it's a lot easier and more efficient to draw MIDI in the full-screen MIDI editor because the default editor view is too crammed to work with properly. The main tool we're going to need for the MIDI editor is the Draw tool. We'll use this instead of the Smart tool, and we get it by pressing the Pencil tool next to the Smart tool we were using in the last video. The Pencil tool has a drop-down for more tools such as lines, but we can stick with the default Draw tool for most purposes. In Pro Tools Intro and most other digital audio workstations, we're just using a standard piano roll keyboard layout. In the piano roll view, the note values for the pitch are along the left side as the piano keyboard. The timing of all the notes is displayed horizontally with the beats and bars grid at the top. The bottom of the piano roll has the velocity for each of the MIDI notes, which is just how hard the MIDI notes were hit, and this can be adjusted for each note individually. Before we go ahead and draw notes, we need to consider our snapping settings. Usually with MIDI, we'll start with some sort of default snapping to get the notes in alignment with the project timing. To set the snapping for the Draw tool, first completely ignore the timing, strength, swing, and note value buttons in the middle of the screen next to the Q button. These settings are for quantization, which is only applied after a recording is done, and do not apply to the drawn-in notes. To snap the notes to grid with the Draw tool, we need to use the grid snapping panel that's more to the right. We can click the grid button to turn on grid lines, and then see the note value directly to the right, and click it for a drop-down to set the note resolution. That will set the snapping for the start and end points of all our notes. From here, we can click and drag along the piano roll grid to individually add notes, and we can click a note again while we're still in draw mode to select it, and click the delete key on the keyboard to remove it. If we need to make bigger changes, then we can temporarily switch to something like the Select tool and use it to select multiple notes to move them in time, or transpose the notes up or down in pitch. If we're working with recorded MIDI from a MIDI controller, we can use these tools to move, delete, trim, and change the timing of all our MIDI notes individually to fix any mistakes and fine-tune a MIDI performance, but it can be a little bit time-consuming to make all these changes. To make some more automated timing changes with a MIDI piano roll, what we want to use is the Quantization tool. Quantization is used to snap all the notes in a section closer to or directly on the timeline. Quantization uses a set quantized resolution such as whole notes, quarter, eighth, or 16th notes, and snaps all the notes to the closest value. They can also be set to not snap the notes perfectly to the grid, but just move them closer. To actually process the quantization, we want to set the mouse to the selector tool and click and drag to highlight all the notes we want to quantize. Then check the quantization panel to make sure the note resolution is set accurately. You don't want the note resolution to be smaller or larger than your shortest note. Otherwise, it could snap the notes to the wrong position if they're too far off. This also works best if all the notes are roughly the same note duration, and you'll struggle with snapping everything to the right position if your notes are very far off, or if you have a combination of things like 16th and whole notes together. Regardless, if the quantization messes up, you can always undo it and go back again with different settings, or manually adjust those notes. Once we have the resolution, we can set the strength to 100% if we want it to snap on the grid perfectly, or less, such as 60 to 80% to have more variability and randomness to it. Swing is used if there's a bit of variation between the timing of the notes throughout a measure. Once we have the settings we want, just click the Q button and all the notes will be automatically quantized. At the default, it's just going to quantize the note start positions, which is the most important part that we hear for the timing of the notes, but we can click the settings to the right for more options, such as also quantizing the end of the note instead of preserving the note duration. We can also add an offset, tuplet, and set inclusion and exclusion zones for which notes to be affected by quantization, so we can exclude notes that are either too close to the grid lines or too far away. With all these tools we've looked at so far, we can adjust the Expand to instrument to set up some custom sounds, record a MIDI instrument or keyboard, then adjust or manually add notes on the Pro Tools piano roll MIDI Editor. That should give you a good starting point for MIDI in Pro Tools Intro. Thanks for checking out this video on working with MIDI and virtual instruments in Pro Tools Intro. If this video helped you out, don't forget to give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and press the bell icon to get notified whenever a new video is released. You can also check the video description for social media accounts to stay up to date on all our new content.